basically what we're gonna do is we're just gonna import a couple, I would say it's probably like 100 photos from two different folders on my SD drive. We'll take a look at how to import those photos, move them into our database, and then how to start adding ACDSee metadata to those files in our database so that eventually when we want to look for files, it's extremely easy and extremely fast to really figure out what you need. And so you'll notice that when you start building up your database with, it'll become super intuitive and easy to find those files very quickly. So as you can see, I have a fresh database. I don't have anything inside my pictures folder right now. And I do have connected my SD drive, and I'm going to import photos from these two folders right here. So the first folder is a ceramic photography session that I did for my wife. She's a ceramic artist, and we took these photos the other day. And so I want to import those. I want to organize them by ratings to figure out which ones are the best, which ones are the ones that I'm going to send over to, for example, post on Instagram. So there's a specific workflow we're going to take a look at on how to do that, because that's one of the advantages, not only putting everything in its right place or adding keywords to the photos, to specific photos, but also establishing a rating system where you will be able to find the best photos that you've taken, where you will be able to find photos that are great but need some editing, or some photos that are ready to print, etc. So you can probably immediately tell that the folders to my left, the ones that are inside my SD drive, have this little sort of stop or this red icon right here. And that means that those folders are not being cataloged into the database of ACDSee. And ACDSee by default is built that way. This is super helpful because you don't really want your SD drive to be part of your catalog. If you start moving photos from your SD drive into your computer, into your hard drive of your computer, then if ACDSee starts incorporating both into the database, you will end up with a bunch of duplicates, and that's not nice. We want to keep things organized. However, if you do have external hard drives to that you do want to be incorporated in your database, you can absolutely do that by going to database, catalog files, and here you can add a specific folder inside, let's say, an external hard drive. If you do want to change that option and include your external hard drives into your database, all you have to do is go to Options, Database, and click here where it says Manage Excluded Folders. And here you can add, you'll see here, right here on the bottom, it says Always Exclude Removable Hard Drives. So, that's an option. But we're gonna keep going forward with excluding our external hard drive because we want to start building our database only with what we have inside of our pictures folder in our computer. So two different ways to bring your photos into your database is to use for example, you go to pictures and you go to the import, and you can import from device, and it'll start gathering information from your SD card, and then you have a bunch of different settings that you can choose. However, to make things easier, and the way that I like to do it, probably the most intuitive way, is to just copy and paste. ACDSee replicates the file structure of your computer. And so if I open different tabs, and now I'm using this is a new feature in ACDSee 2025 that is not available in 24, which is the ability to browse on different tabs. So I have my pictures tab, which is in my computer. I have my first folder with photos that I'm importing, and a second folder with different photos that I'm importing. And I'm just going to select my first photo here, go down until I see the end of the ceramic photo shoot. So 78 photos, and I'm just going to hit Control C go to my pictures folder and before I paste them, I'm going to create a new folder because obviously I want things a little bit more organized. So a good way to do this, let me know if you have other ways of organizing your folder structure, but you can start by years, okay? So inside my 2024, and here, as you can see, I open a different tab. So I have pictures in my first tab and 2024. I'm going to create, again, a new folder inside 2024, and I'm going to call this Ceramic Photo Shoot October. You could divide the folders inside the year folder by months, but I feel it's a little bit you will forget what you did on specific months. So my recommendation is to still add sort of like the subject of that group of photographs you're going to add to that folder, and then add the month to the side. If you have a different idea, Peter is telling us how he does it, so it's pretty good to have different ways to do things. And so inside 2024, now you'll see my folder structure, pictures, 2024, ceramic photo shoot October, and I'm going to create one more folder, which is going to be called Port Renfrew, which is the other photos that I have in my other folder inside my SD card. And it's called Port Renfrew Trip. Let's type trip. And this was in March. Because I already copied the ceramic images, I'm just going to go ahead and open ceramic photo shoot. Probably close my other tabs since I won't really need them right now. And hit Control V. And as you can see, ACDSee immediately adds all of the files super quickly into my ceramic photo shoot folder. And the good thing about this is now you will notice that this little icon, the red icon on the top left, is now not showing on my images because these photos, their thumbnails, and all of the information, metadata and ACDSee metadata will be incorporated into the database. Because you can see that there are some files that have a rating in them. I'm just going to, because something got lost in the way while I was resetting my database. So all I have to do to just get everything back to 0, select all my files. You can hit Control A, and then just here on the top right, you will see this little icon right next to the rating system, where you can reset rating for all selected files. Okay, so all my files I've reset them, and the files are not duplicated because they exist in my SD card, which I can go ahead and delete them if I wanted to, but they only exist in this folder in my database, in my ACDSee database. Everything in your hard drive does not necessarily have to be in the ACDSee database. Yeah, so Tony has a more specific organization folder, so that's good to know. He has year, month, days, location, and subject, so that's perfect. The more specific, the better. Okay, so I've added my first group of photos into my ceramic photo shoot folder. They're all right there. And now I am going to open my Port Renfrew trip, which is currently empty. By the way, you can open new tabs in ACDSee 2025 just by clicking the middle button in your mouse. And I'm going to go to my other folder inside my SD drive where I have the photos I took from our trip to Port Renfrew. And just to give things quick, I'm not going to copy MP4 files since they're really heavy, they're long videos. I'm just copying JPEGs for now, just to keep things running quick. Okay, so I'll hit Control C. I'll go into my Port Renfrew trip folder, tab, Control V. Okay, so we have our two folders right here. I'm going to close. So I have my Port Renfrew trip from March in one folder and my ceramic photo shoot in another folder. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a keyword to all of the files in my ceramic folder. By default, when you use ACDSee, you will see the properties pane to your right, and you will see this information displayed, the IPTC, the EXIF, and the ACDSee metadata. But if you go to Organize, then you can add categories, collections, keywords, and more to your files. So in categories, let's start building the categories of our database. And we're going to select what ACDSee offers by default, or one of the options offered by default, which is objects. And now all of our files are under the category of objects. When we move into catalog, which is when we're going to try to find files, we'll start realizing the importance of adding keywords and categories. Collections, we're gonna see if we get to collections, but for now we're just gonna keep it more simple and focus on keywords. Okay, so I am going to add the keyword ceramics to all these files. And to do that, all I have to do, I'll probably, because if you look at the ACDSee does give you, some options for keywords that are already built in there, but you can totally create your own. So for example, in landscape, you have nature, urban, fall, etc., miscellaneous. And these are all keywords that ACDSee is suggesting, but ceramics is not one of them. So we're just going to type ceramics and hit enter. Okay. Now, if I open this little keyword toggle right here in the bottom, you will see that all of my files have the keyword ceramic attached to them. Okay. Well, the category is objects in this case, Barbara. So category is objects, and then ceramics is the keyword. Let's go to Port Renfrew. And again, let's select all of our images, Control A, and we are going to add them under the nature category. Okay. And for keywords, as you can see here, all of the photos on the top have water or the ocean and a sunset. And so I can go ahead and go to the landscape tab that ACDSee offers by default, and I can start selecting the ones that work for me. So because I have nature already in my category, I might add ocean, but I might also want to add sunset. Maybe we have sunset here. I don't think so. Anyways, so to add a new keyword to all of the photos that I have selected, all I have to do is type another keyword right here. So I have, as you can see, I have ocean and sunset on all these photos. If I keep going down, I'll select all of the images that still showcase the ocean, and I'm going to add that keyword, just like that. On the bottom now, I have some photos that are in the forest, and so I'll select all of them, and we'll add the keyword of forest. Okay. Oops, these ones too. Forest. And now I'm just going to select the last images, which all seem to be at the beach. So maybe I'll just add the keyword ocean, but also beach. David asks, does this batch addition of keywords erase existing metadata keywords? It does not. So it just adds keywords to them. Okay, so now that we've established a basic, and again, this is just like a basic organization, first level of organization of our files, we are going to rename them because that is also very easy to do on ACDSee. So if we go back to our ceramics and select all of them, you can also go up here and click batch. So I'll type Control A, I'll right click and I'll go to batch and I'll click on rename files. Just so that I don't have P109, etc. numbers. I just have something that makes more sense. So I can do ceramic photo shoot, October, and then add the number. So as you can see here, it says use numbers to replace pounds. So I think that's what this icon. I'm getting lost a little bit in translation of how you name this little icon in English, but anyways. So this will be replaced by numbers. And as you can see, when you're doing batch rename, ACDSee gives you a preview of the original names and then the names that are following right after. So automatically it's adding a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. to all of the files. I'll hit rename. And just like that, all my files have been renamed. Hashtag, yes, why not hashtag? Yeah, in English it is the pound symbol. Now it is used as a hashtag. Okay, so let's batch rename the photos of my trip. Control A, right click, batch, rename files. And I'll type port, Renfrew, March, hashtag or pound. Rename. And now all of my images have been renamed. Okay, so what we've done so far is we've moved photos from um, our SD card into our database inside the 2024 folder inside pictures, and we have, let's see how many photos we have now in our database. So there's 94 photos here and 60 photos here. So 150 something, 48. Okay, so what would I suggest to do next if you are trying to figure out what your best photos are? And so now we're going to dive into what the rating system is in ACDSee and how you can use it to your advantage when you're trying to search for photos later. So we're going to try to do this quickly. And there are two different ways to do this. So if you're in manage mode and you want to stay in manage mode, go ahead and click on view and film strip. So what this will do is this will display all of your photos in a bigger size so that it's easier for you to determine which ones you like more, which ones you like less. And so you're going to be able to, start when you have thousands of photos, you do want to know which ones are the best. And the rating system that I use is number one, you don't have to use this. You can just define your own rating system, or maybe you can share the rating system you use in the chat. But ones are photos that don't, I'm probably not going to use. Twos are going to be photos that I am selecting that I consider to be good and that I would probably edit later. So I'm going to go through all of the ceramic photos and I'm going to divide them into the ones that I kind of want to get rid of or that I think don't deserve more time. and then select my twos are going to be the ones that are going to advance to the next stage. And then we'll see how we progress by doing this, okay? So a nice thing about manage mode and ACDSee is that you can use the numbers on your keyboard to simply, type 1 if you're not sure about that photo. This one I do like, so I'm going to give it a 2. And then you can go back and forth to see which one you like more. And actually, I do like more the following one. So I'm going to type 2 on my third one and go ahead and give it a 1 on my first one. Okay. Sorry, on my second one here to the left. So let's keep going. This one, not a big fan. So we'll type 1. And this one is a little bit too close. So again, 1. So now in all my yellow vases, I've selected basically one photo that will move to the next stage, which has a rating of 2. Let's keep going. I'll give this a 1, 1. Let's see between this one and the following. This one is a 1. This one is a 2. This one is a 1. Not really sure about the leaves on the left, so I'll give this a 1, another 1. This close-up is kind of cool. I'll give it a 2. I like the one before more, so I'll give this one a 1. And actually, I like this one a lot more. So I'll give this one a 2 and go back to my other close-up and give it a 1. I have another close-up of the yellow vase. I'll give this one a 2. I don't like this one so much, so a 1, a 1. This one is kind of cool, but I think I have a better one coming next, so I'll give it a 1, 1, 1, 2. I like that one. This is a 1. I like the vases when they have something else on them, so I'll give this a 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And now I'm moving on to my cups. So let's see what's going on here. This one is really cool with the wine, so I'll give this one a 2. And the first ones will have a 1, a 1. I like that first bottle, so I'll give this a 1, 1, 1. I'll give this, let's see, I like this one. So I don't think I really, I'll give this a 2, just to have 2 of the, give this one a 1, 1, 1, 1. I don't like those really. That one's cool. I'll give this a 2. Yeah, so I like that one more. I'll give that a 2. I'll give this a 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. I like that one more. I like that one, so I'll give this a 2. I'll give this a 2. I'll give this a 1, 1, 1. I already have that one, so I'll give it a 1 and a 1. All right, so we've already established a rating of 1 and 2 of all the photos right here. And I'm just going to go ahead and do this very quickly so that we don't waste more time. We don't lose more time. And I'm going to do the same with some of the photos that I have in my separate folder. All of this will make sense once we move on to the catalog pane and we start searching for specific images. So again, I'll do the same principle. I'll give this a 2. I really like this photo. I'll give it a 1. I'll give it a 1, 1, 2. Cool photo. Like the first one more. So 1, 1, 1, 2. What about here? Like this one more, so I'll give this a 2. I'll give this a 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So these are cool. We got some birds. I'll give this a 2. I'll give this a 1, 1. We got some birds up here, so I'll probably give this one a 2. And yeah, and you keep going, right? So you got your 1s and 2s in all kinds of photos. And we're just going to finish up with these. So I'll give this one a 1. I'll give this a 2 because I think this photo could be greatly improved by by editing it a little bit. And maybe if we have time, I'll show you how I'm imagining to edit it. I'll give this, yeah, this is pretty cool. A 2, a 1, a 1, 1, 1, 1. A bit out of focus, all of those photos, so just gonna keep it at 1. Okay, that's good enough for now. Oh, so yeah, so some people are having issues with the numbers. Mm, so another way to do it is if you hit Control, if you hit Control 1, Control 2, that might work. If you don't have like a separate number pad. Okay, so what we've done so far, we've copied and pasted photos, we've batch renamed them into our database, and we have a little bit of a database going with different ACDSee metadata information in those files. If I go to catalog, let's say I wanted to look at all of the photos that I gave. First of all, I could select, for example, the categories, right? So I've added categories to my photos and I have nature where I can, and I'm going to change the view back to thumbnails. Again, I have catalog open in a new tab and I can browse the photos in my database based on obviously categories, people based on the face data that we're going to take a look at the end of this workshop, ratings, color labels, keywords, AI keywords, etc. So here's my nature category, here's my object category, and it's displaying instantly all of the photos that are under that category. Okay. But I don't want to choose any category just now. And for example, if I thought, okay, I did my first run through of ratings, right? If I click on my twos in the catalog pane, you will see all of the photos that I've selected from the ceramic photo shoot, but also from the Port Renfrew photo shoot. And so turns out if you have thousands of photos, if you follow that rating system of twos and you want to see what you kind of want to, if you want to work on some photos, edit some photos, you will have twos with all kinds of different subjects. And so all you have to do is to open up the keywords tab here on the catalog pane. And if I only wanted to edit my twos or keep narrowing down my selection on only my ceramic photo shoot, all I have to do is just with Control, select ceramics. So now ACDSee is searching through your entire database for the images that have a rating of 2 and that have the keyword ceramics attached to them. Now there's a step 2 into the rating system that is the workflow we're looking at in this workshop. And I'm going to go back to the film strip view and I'm going to select my threes. And my threes are going to be the images that I'm going to actually edit. Okay. Probably I'm going to have to edit all of these because they're all super cool. And so actually, yeah, I don't want to get rid of any of these photos. So, but if, for example, I need to send the client, just a couple of photos, like 2 or 3, then you can go ahead and type as a 3, for example, the ones that you want to edit. Okay, so I'll type these 2 as 3. And then I'm going to go to my 3 ceramics. And now I have the 2 photos that I want to work on. So quickly, if I, for example, have a bunch of photos here on my film strip, I can easily move into Develop Suite by selecting my photo. So I'll click Develop, and we're just going to do a super quick edit on this one. Let me know if you can see develop mode. And yeah, we're just going to apply a little bit of editing. We're going to select our objects here with the AI object selection tool, just like that. I could have used select subject, but this is a bit more precise. I'm going to get rid of the space here, like that. And now I have, oh, let's try that again. There we go. So now I have my ceramic base and my lemons completely selected. I'm going to add a little bit more saturation to them, a little bit of contrast, not too much, and a good amount of clarity just to bring the texture of the vase forward. So now, if you see, this is before and after, my vase is popping up a lot more. I will now duplicate um, this mask, but I'm going to invert it so that I'm selecting only the background. And I will probably bring more color to the background. And this is nice because if I had increased saturation for the image entirely, the yellows would have been extremely saturated if I wanted to get to a nice pink in the background. So it's really nice to be able to separate your masks. I'm going to reduce the clarity a little bit because this will sort of create like a blur effect to my mask. And there we go. So we have a small quick edit. This is before and after. The photo looks more lively, more colorful. Maybe I'll add a vignette just to bring more attention to the center of the image. And there we go. So this is our original image, and this is our edited photo. I'm going to hit done, and ACDSee will take me back to manage mode. Okay, so as I was saying, I gave this one a 4 because I've already edited the photo. Once you edit all of your photos, move them to a 4. 4 is your edited photos, and then give a 5 to the photos that you love, that are the best ones. So imagine you're a photographer, you've been working for years, you've taken thousands of photographs, you've edited a bunch of those photographs. You wanna be able to know which ones are your absolute favorite, but at any given point. So just give a 5 to your favorite ones. Let's just do another edit very quickly. So in my original photo, a bit more flat, and the photo that I've edited, I can see a lot of the texture of my vase. Maybe I went too much ahead, but it's definitely a more artistic photo. I'm going to edit just one more photo, and let's go back to manage mode. I'm going to go ahead and select my my twos, but only in the forest keyword. So I have my twos, and I'm going to move to a 3, this first photo right here, because I think I can do a pretty cool edit on this one. If we have time, I'll do a Q&A. I know it's the thing is digital asset management is such a huge topic. We definitely need a part 2. So I might make a part 2. I'm going to work here with some radial masks. I'm going to bring a bit more light to this middle part of the photo here. I will invert my selection, add more feathering to make it a lot smoother, maybe extend it to the sides here. And now I will hide my mask, bring some light into the center of my image like that, bring more saturation, make those greens really strong right there. Let's make the water a bit more bright too by adding a brush mask and painting over the water. like this. Let's add some feathering as well. We'll hide our mask and then maybe we'll bring some of the exposure up, some more saturation too. Now the water is a lot brighter, more green. Um, we can make it actually bluer or even more green by changing its temperature. I like the blue tones, so maybe there. That's kind of cool. And finally, I'm just gonna bring back some of the highlights that are up there. But I don't want to bring any of the highlights on another part of my photo. So the best thing to do here is to add a luminance range mask. I'm going super fast because I want to go back to digital asset management, obviously. But as you can see now, I am just selecting the sky and the trees here. And I'm just going to bring the exposure down there. Maybe make it a bit warmer. There. Okay, so yeah, that's how my photo looked originally. This is how it looks after. There's a lot more dimension. There's our eyes are attracted to the center of the image. It's a much nicer photo. I'll click done again. I'll reshare, manage mode, and I'm going to add a 4, right? So now, if I go to my 3, actually, this one is also a 4. If I go to my 4s on catalog, I will have displayed all of the images that I've already edited, right? And so if I had to choose my favorites, I would probably give this one a 5, and I would give this one a 5. Now, let's say a friend of yours is like, hey, can you send me the best photo, send me some of your best work. You have a friend, you want to impress someone, it doesn't matter. Someone is like, send me a couple of your best photos, or you want to find your best photos to submit to a contest or whatever it is. In ACDSee, it's extremely easy to find your best photos thanks to the catalog system, thanks to the ACDSee metadata that you can add to your photos. Now, you can take it obviously a step further and add some color labels. So let's say you want to divide your images even further and be like, okay, I want to define what photos are ready to be printed, what photos are ready to be sent, uploaded to Instagram or social media or internet. You can now use color labels as well. So let's say this landscape photo, I wanted to share it on Instagram. I can mark as a yellow color label all of the photos that I want to share on Instagram. So I'll give a yellow that, and let's say for whatever reason, I wanted to print this one. This could be a green. So now you can even, wait, let's just make it like this. I'm going to say that I'm going to print number here, this one from the forest, and I'm going to upload to Instagram the yellow one that is the vase. So if we start again in catalog and you're like, okay, I want to find my best photos to upload to Instagram. Go to 5 and select the yellow color label. And assuming you have thousands, hundreds of photos, ACDSee will super quickly search for the photos you need. I want to find my absolute favorite photos, but I only want the ones that are ready to be printed. I'll select the 5 rating and the green color label. So probably ACDSee doesn't look like this for most of you. You probably have at least hundreds of photos, and I do as well. I just started a new database fresh. so that it was easier to sort of digest the information we're looking at here. So yeah, we can go back to our folders and go back to our thumbnail view, and then you will see all of the metadata applied to your files, right? So you have yellow labels, you have green labels, you have different ratings. Now, a good thing to keep in mind is you want to embed the ACDSee metadata. So all of what we've done, you want that information to be stored in the files themselves, so that for whatever reason you need to move these files into a separate computer, into another ACDSee, then the it's essential that this information is stored in your files. And to make sure that you're doing that fairly often, all you have to do is to go to metadata, click on embed ACDSee metadata, and click on embed in all files. So now all of the ACDSee metadata is on the file itself. So if you open this photo in another computer, you will see the same information. You can make that process automatic by going to Options, Embed ACDSee metadata, and you can choose how to auto embed ACDSee metadata in different ways. So do not auto embed metadata, which is not something I would recommend. And you can embed metadata on shutdown, or you can display a reminder every day, every week, every 2 weeks, every month. Not only you can embed the ACDSee metadata, but you can embed the categories you've chosen into the IPTC, or the keywords into IPTC. So if you wanted to open the photos in a different software, but you wanted to keep the categories and keywords information on the file, you can also choose to move the keywords and categories to the IPTC metadata to your files. The best practice, I would say, is to leave it at shutdown. So go to Options, Embed Metadata on Shutdown. I feel that's the easiest one. You'll never forget every time you got to make sure you close ACDSee every once in a while. There we go. So, for example, you can also choose to embed to IPTC, right? So if I wanted to embed keywords, only keywords to IPTC, you have the option to either merge your new keywords, or to overwrite the keywords that you've created here in ACDSee into the IPTC of your files. Let's see. I mean, we have 5 minutes left, so I can try to answer questions. I know there's a lot of questions. Richard asks, if you create a second database, will the previous embedded data still be there? If you create a second database and you start cataloging the files that have embedded metadata in them, then your new database is going to recognize that metadata and add it to your second database. IPTC is just a type of metadata that exists on every photograph, on every image file that you have. Is there a way to clear all IPTC keywords in all files in the database? Let's take a look. I'm not quite sure. Right now, I don't have any IPTC keywords, I believe. Well, actually, I did add the ceramic keyword to the IPTC. But if you select all of your files and you go to keywords, you can probably just delete that and hit enter. And now you'll realize that those photos probably still have the ACDSee metadata. So they still have the ceramic keyword in the ACDSee metadata, but they don't have any keywords in IPTC. So if you want to take a look at the information on what's on the IPTC, here's all of the metadata information, and you can select and delete whatever you want. Peter says, I'm going on a trip where I'll shoot 5,000 plus photos. My plan is to load them into a new ACDC database on a laptop every day and then call keyword and rate. When I get home, how do I then bring them into my PC? Do I just import the new database into it? Right. So my suggestion, Peter, is that you obviously embed the ACDC metadata to your files. And I am pretty sure that if you just copy all those files and bring them to the database on your PC, on a folder inside the database of your PC, then ACDC is gonna automatically catalog those images. So it's gonna read the metadata in them. But you can also go to Tools, Database, and Catalog Files. So look, it says, in addition, certain ACDC metadata, including keywords, categories, and tags, will only be added to the database by cataloging with this tool. So just go here, folders to catalog, add the folders from, the new folder that you've incorporated in your PC. Once you've dragged the folder, once you've dragged the images into your computer, or if you're using an external hard drive, just catalog them. So for example, I have on the desktop here, I have all photos. So a bunch of folders in there. I can start cataloging them. And just keep it going. If you're adding files to your database, folders to your database that have ACDSee metadata in them, so that you created that metadata on another computer with another version of ACDSee or with another ACDSee, and you want to bring them into another database, a new ACDSee database, then you do have to catalog those files. Thanks, Catherine. Yeah, really, that's great that it was helpful. I mean, we didn't even cover AI keywords. We didn't cover people mode. There's just so much to cover. So we'll definitely do a version 2.0. So this one, ratings, color labels, folders, keywords, categories, and then we're gonna try to get to more advanced stuff. But thank you guys for joining. I'll see you next time. Take care.